Who really fired Tucker Carlson? Or shall I say, who was the reason that he was fired? You have BlackRock and you have Dominion voting system. We're going to talk about that today. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. There's been a lot of speculation as to why or who fired Tucker Carlson. Now, Tucker Carlson was supposedly fired on Friday evening. That his last show was on Friday, but he didn't get the message that he was fired until almost going on air on Monday. And he wasn't actually fired. He was simply told that he no longer was available for the show. They are still sorting out a deal, and Tucker Carlson has since sued Fox because he was still under contract, right? And Tucker Carlson is suing Fox for breach of contract, which will then get him out of the contract to then allow him to pursue all of his personal endeavors, which includes hosting an event for Donald Trump to be the host for his presidential campaign, which I believe a lot of people would like. I'm a libertarian. I was searching for libertarian presidential candidates for the 2024 elections season, and all that Google would show me is Joe Exotic, who is in prison for 21 years, who had filed to run for president for the Libertarian Party. I believe he filed. And that's it. Google is a terrible company, and we don't have any Elon Musk buying Google. I don't think he could. He probably could, actually, because it's not reaching into your pocket and buying something. It's getting the funds to buy something. But Google is a terrible search engine, and they are very biased, and they only show you what they want to show you after creating a profile of what they think you are. That includes if you live overseas, not in the United States, they will not show you alternative candidates running for president in your country that they don't agree with. They are systematically sued over and over and over by the EU and other entities for monopoly, for censoring people who shouldn't be censored. A lot of African nations have completely banned Google, banned Facebook. And you're saying, how can they ban Google or Facebook? Because they have censored whole candidates running for office. And you can think what you want about Africa, but Africa has probably more of a democratic streak than the actual United States. They have banned Facebook and Google because they censored the opposing presidential candidate. Not the underdog, not the, it doesn't matter who it was. It was somebody that Facebook or Google decided that they didn't like, and probably were receiving money from a special interest group in that country. And surprise, surprise, not every African nation is corrupt. I know that is shocking to say that. So when I search for libertarian presidential candidates for 2023, I get libertarian articles from 2006. That makes no sense. Google is a search engine. It has robots that comb the entire internet to see if there is any mention of libertarian presidential candidate and who's the most recent. And they should put up the most recent, especially when I put up 2023, but they don't. So now we have Tucker Carlson, and he's going to host the events for Donald Trump, which was the whole point of firing him. That was the whole point of firing Tucker Carlson. I don't know if you've watched Fox lately, but they are clearly anti-Trump. Clearly. If you balance all of the negative commentary on Fox versus the positive commentary on Fox on the subject of Trump, the negative commentary on Fox vastly outnumber any sort of positive commentary on Fox. And now I can only assume that that's because of both BlackRock and Dominion. There was a supposed insider leak, that said that they had overheard from a cousin of an uncle of a third generation grandma that they had said that Dominion had requested that Tucker Carlson be fired. My information was that it was actually BlackRock. And it stands to reason that that makes perfect sense. Why? Because Tucker Carlson never said anything negative about Dominion. In fact, Tucker Carlson sent out invitations to the people who had said that Dominion was cheating. And he wanted the person to come with receipts to present all of the evidence. The person never showed up. It was one of Donald Trump's lawyers. It was a woman. She never showed up. The show, that segment of the show never happened. So Tucker Carlson never said anything negative about Dominion. So why would Dominion go out of its way to demand the firing of Tucker Carlson? And here's another thing. What leverage did they have? The information that I have about the Fox actually settling out of court to the tune of almost $800 million, is that the handlers of Rupert Murdoch, who is 95 years old, were afraid of what he might not say in open court. And because of this fear, because of this possible risk, they instead recommended that Fox settle out of court to the tune of almost $800 million, which is crazy. You have to then take into account, well, if that is the case, then whatever Rupert Murdoch could have possibly said must have been so devastating to who? Probably to the entire, what does Andrew Tate call them? The Matrix, right? And you would assume that somebody like Rupert Murdoch would have all sorts of dirt on the Matrix, and in open court to prove his point against Dominion, because they had said that they were very confident in any case in the lawsuit brought by Dominion against Fox, that they were very confident that they were going to win, which meant that they had receipts and facts on their side, but instead they settled out of court. It then doesn't make sense if they had all of the leverage for the actual case that they would then bow to Dominion to fire their number one weekend host, which is Dan Bongino, and their number one weekly host, which was Tucker Carlson. It doesn't make sense that it's Dominion. It makes far more sense that it's BlackRock, because Tucker Carlson actually said anti-war stuff, which then directly correlates to the bottom line of BlackRock. Why? Because BlackRock is heavily invested in the war machine in the United States of America. So much so that they went and had a meeting with President Zelensky. So it stands to reason that the reason that he did get fired was because of BlackRock. Then you have to ask, well, what are the stakes that we have with BlackRock? Well, it's very, very, very simple. The stakes that they have with Fox, that Dominion had with Fox, is that they were invested in Fox to the tune of $1.5 billion. Rupert Murdoch owns something like 95% of the company, and all of the other investors only amount to 5%, but that 5% represents all sorts of special interests, the WEF, and BlackRock, which has their thumb in every corporation that there is. So it stands to reason that the person that demanded the firing of Tucker Carlson was in fact BlackRock, not Dominion. In fact, on their letter of see you wouldn't want to be you to Tucker Carlson, they said Tucker is completely held not liable for anything concerning Fox, and specifically Dominion. So it doesn't make sense that it was Dominion that demanded his firing, because Fox doesn't believe that Tucker has anything to worry about Dominion. And in fact, they're saying that they're going to defend him if Dominion tries to come after him. That doesn't smack to me. So the whole leaking of the insider information that it was Dominion that got Tucker Carlson, I believe is false. I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. I will go into the Tucker Carlson lawsuit for breach of contract against Fox in another video if you so choose. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I have a new request. Favorite the video. Go to your settings, to the settings part under the video, the 3 dots, and click that one, and then click save, and you'll save it into favorites. It's a playlist that you automatically have as a person that watches YouTube. Thank you.
This is why Fox can never win a lawsuit with Tucker, and is going to do what he wants ultimately in the resolution of this, because they cannot afford a litigation in which he gets his lawyer cross-examining Irina Briganti, in which we'll get all of her emails, all of her cell phone records, all of her desktop records of who she called and when. Oh yes, we will see them all. And we'll know exactly what she was up to. And we'll get the ones of Suzanne Scott, and we'll get the general counsel. We'll get them all. Because if this has been a company-wide effort to ruin him post-termination, they will pay. And that is why I firmly believe Tucker should breach. He should breach. He should give up whatever, the $30 million that is still owed to him. He will make it up very easily in the private market. That's exactly right. He'll have an argument of prior material breach, and even if he doesn't, he'll make more money if he goes private. He got a $100 million offer on this show the other day. He should breach. He should walk out of there, and should not let them muzzle him for the entire election season, which is what they're trying to do as they rebuild their audience.